All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus the Messiah. I pray everybody is super blessed. As usual, guys, if we can get 700 likes on this stream, we will be giving away the course. If we can get 1,250 likes, we'll be giving away $1,000 in Tether. Make sure to share the stream, retweet the tweet on Twitter and Twitter. Call your Aunt Sally, tell her, Aunt Sally, come like the video. We're getting desperate up in here, guys. We'll be live momentarily. Are live on this beautiful Monday morning. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Jason5. Is it time to go short? Well, you know, I can't really answer that question. Is it time to go short? You know, that extends beyond the scope of my ability as a YouTuber, right? Because this is definitely not financial advice, nor am I a financial advisor. In fact, I'll tell you what I am. I'm a paper trader. Everything I do on here, totally fake. But I would say this, guys. Okay, I would say this. All right, let me quickly put this into a folder and turn this off. And turn this off as well. I would say this, guys. I am in a short trade right now, and the reason I am in a short trade is because we put in a high, and then we put in a higher high with my favorite short confirmation in the world, which is uneven butt cheeks on the 12-minute time frame with also money flow getting lower. Okay, so I personally do think that we can come down a little bit lower here, but I don't know for certain. So, you know, obviously I can't answer the question, is it a good time to take a short? But yeah, here we go, guys. I want to talk about what's been happening with this Bitcoin price action. But first, I want to talk about the trades that I have taken today, because I did take a loss. Your boy Jason Casper got absolutely wrecked this morning. And I'll tell you what happened, all right? I'll tell you what happened. So this morning, I was looking to take a short, posted the setup that posted the level that I was looking to take in the VIP Discord, the chicken's drinking water that we had from right here. And I took the trade, guys, because we got bearish divergences on the 12-minute time frame as so. And we did come above the level and close a candle below the level. And so I took a short stop loss up here. I had my first take profit set at this high volume node that we had right in here. And I'll tell you guys, I got totally stopped out of that trade for a pretty hefty loss. It was about an $800, almost, I guess, $900 loss after everything's said and done, guys. And it just goes to show you that sometimes you'll have a setup, sometimes you'll have your confirmations, and sometimes it just won't play out, man. You know, that's part of trading, and that's why it's so important to use good risk management. I'm telling you. Because if you start to get careless and you start to use position sizes bigger than you should and taking risks larger than you should, your account is not going to grow over time. Even if you get lucky a few times, you will lose money over time doing that if you're taking trades without good risk management. Now, this, in my opinion, was a high probability setup. Even, you know, I waited until, we closed the 1 minute candle below. So I entered somewhere like in here. And it did not turn out very well. Now I want to talk about what has happened over this weekend, because we had a very large dump after we got the news from our good friend Mr. Powell. Mr. Powell, man of the hour, okay? Essentially what happened over the weekend was on Friday he gave a speech, and in that speech he said a whole bunch of nothing. But the bottom line was, things are bad, guys, and they're definitely not going to get any better, all right? We've got this inflation relief package going on. We've got all this stuff, but turns out the inflation relief package might make things, it's going to be a bumpy road, okay? And as soon as he said those words, bumpy road, well, we had a massive dump, okay? And the S&P 500 as well, guys, had a pretty massive dump. I mean, wow. Would you look at that candle that we put in on Friday? Very, very intense. Very intense. Scary stuff, guys. Scary stuff. Now, a few things that I would like to point out here. Okay, a few things I would like to point out. And this is of prime importance. All right? This is of prime importance. We have been trading the corn, okay? The Bitcoin has been trading in a very clearly defined, it's clearly defined for us by a low that we put in and a high that we put in, a sideways range. Okay, now I'm going to put these lines on the chart here so we can see here that we are in a sideways range. Okay, and let me actually check and see how's everything going. Wow, Bitcoin is getting a little pumped, guys. Getting a little pumped. In fact, my short might get wrecked. All right, my short might get wrecked. So before we talk about that, let me pull out some fibs in public here. Let me pull out some fibs in public. All right. See what's going on here. What's going on here? Oof, that's not necessarily the smartest thing in the world, huh? My entry's right on that golden pocket Fibonacci retracement. What's a man to do? What's a man to do? Dang. Well, oh, come on. Come on, Bitcoin. Don't do this to me. Sheesh, man. How am I supposed to live stream a successful short trade when Bitcoin keeps pumping? The heck is wrong with you, Bitcoin? Sheesh. This relationship is growing old quickly, guys. Let me tell you. It's growing old quickly. Now, let me actually just pull out another fib, because I did know that we had come down to the Fibonacci golden pocket right here. And that's why we're getting this bounce, guys, because we came down to the Fibonacci golden pocket. Let me check out a few other things while we're at it here. Let's go to CoinLies, and let's see, did we get any kind of SpongeBob SquarePants action down here? Absorption. Sorry for the delay in the TA, guys, but, trading and streaming, it's a tough thing, man. It's a tough thing, let me tell you. So, what happened over here? Did we get anything crazy? Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Ooh. Yeah, oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Looks like we did get some absorption down there, guys. Yeah, let's see something else here. Wow, would you look at that? Yeah, we got absorption down here. Shorts getting absorbed. Then we had a whole bunch of longs come in to give us this little push to the upside here. Yeah, shorts getting absorbed right down here. We could see as we consolidate here, open interest increasing, shorts opening up, CVD getting lower. That's a bullish divergence. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of longs come in, get a big old move to the upside right there. And, man, that's a bummer, isn't that, guys? That's a bummer. All right, well, because of that, I'm going to probably just scoop a little bit more profit out of here. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. All right, okay. That's fine. And, I think what else I'm going to do is I am going to, let's see here. There we go. There we go. The Flop and Grope Show with Jason Casper. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flop and Grope Show with Jason Casper. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to our chart here. So, a few key things that we need to keep in mind. Number one, on the 4-hour chart, guys, we are trading in this sideways range here. And I made a video a little bit earlier, but it's very, very important. If we want to have the most successful swing trades, right, we need to always be looking for shorts from the highs and longs from the lows, right? Shorts from the highs and longs from the lows. This is how we're going to have the most success in trading. When we identify sideways ranges, we can look for shorts from the highs and longs from the lows. Now, you might say this is oversimplifying it. I say if you literally always drew 2 boxes on your chart, always, you'd probably have a lot more success than if you were doing a whole bunch of other crazy tools. Now, I just got stopped out of my short trade as we reject from this Fibonacci golden pocket retracement right here, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, that's what happens when you're late on your entries and you don't have the juiciest entries in the world, right? So it's how it has to be. If you want to ensure that you're going to make a profit, sometimes you got to let yourself get stopped out, even if it's a juicy area of resistance, right? Now, let's see what's happening here just quickly. What do we have going on here? Well, we had a whole bunch of trades close out there at the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement. Yeah, and a whole bunch of longs actually close out. I guess a whole bunch of longs took profit at that Fibonacci golden pocket level right there. A whole bunch of longs took profit there. So that's what happened. And by the way, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy chilling out here in a Pikachu hat, guys. Just chilling out in a Pikachu hat, right? Nothing to write home about. Definitely not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. But this is actually a great way to trade. In fact, if we come down to like the 12-minute time frame here, we can see that pretty much all last week, guys, before we had the massive dump to the downside, we had this this sideways thing going on here from like the 19th of August all the way until Friday. And really, I mean, look at this. Just from the first high that we put in here after our first bounce, just draw a box. And every time we come into that box, you could look to take a short. And from the first low we put in down here, just draw a box around those lows. And pretty much every time we come down, you could have taken a long from there. And of course, there are other tools that we can use. But this is the foundation for our trading here, right? This is the foundation for it. And so here's something that is very important. And people are getting antsy, right? They're getting antsy because there's so much bullish sentiment, there's so much bearish sentiment, but this is the context that we need to keep our focus on, okay? So long as we don't actually start trading below here. What do I mean by trading below here? I mean have a massive drop to the downside like we had right here, okay? Remember we had these lows over here, and we're like, as long as we don't lose these lows, we should be looking for longs at these lows, right? Well, we lost them. There was no confusion that we actually lost them here. And so then we wait for the next range to start trading. Same is true right now. As long as we don't lose this red box, we should be looking for a long entry down here. And over the weekend, we actually did get some bullish signs down here, guys. Okay, we got some bullish signs down here. What are the bullish signs that we got? Well, we did have one of the most coveted patterns you could possibly have on Market Cipher B on the 4-hour, which is the uneven butt cheek pattern. Okay, the uneven butt cheek pattern on the 4-hour time frame is where you have that very juicy butt cheek on the left. Okay, look at that thing. I just love the smell of that left cheek. It's so good. It smells like ravioli with the marinara sauce. Or if you have an old Italian grandma, she calls it gravy, right? Early in the morning, what does she do? She opens up the freezer. She takes out all those crushed tomatoes. She puts them in a big pot. She starts making gravy, right? It smells so good all day. You can't wait to eat that spaghetti, macaroni, and gravy at night, right? But on the right-hand side here, what do you got? You got that skinny old butt cheek over here, you know, the one that talks like this with the Brooklyn accent because it's so skinny and it smokes too many cigarettes, keeps the metabolism a little bit high over here. 2 sisters, one super fat, one super skinny. Why? One smokes. People don't understand. Nicotine, it's an appetite inhibitor, right? It speeds up the metabolism a little bit. The other sister over here, she had a few more kids over here, you know, a little bit more stressed out, didn't smoke, okay? That's what we had over here on this chart, right? And this is a very bullish sign, especially when it's accompanied by price coming down to an area that would be considered, I would consider this to be oversold, okay? What does it mean to be oversold? Well, let's discuss. Let's discuss what it means to be oversold, okay? Being oversold simply means that if we're analyzing price action based upon volume, right, that it is coming down to or below the value area low. Because when we're looking at assets trading, this is the way we're going to establish what is high and what is low. Okay, the only way we can actually establish what is high and what is low is if we actually have some kind of frame of reference. Because if we're just going to pull up a blank chart, there's no way to determine what is high and what is low, right? It's important that we understand that. And so when price comes down to this area considered oversold, that means price is low, objectively speaking. And then when our oscillator, market cipher B, comes down below that negative 60 line, this is also considered oversold. Now, I love market cipher. It's my favorite indicator, okay? But you can also use other indicators such as the regular RSI, okay, which also is oversold, right? And so when our oscillator and our price are both oversold at the same time, right? Both oversold at the same time. When they're both oversold at the same time, guys, this means this is a time where we should actually be looking for longs. And on the contrary, when they're both overbought at the same time, that's where we should be looking for shorts. And when our oscillator and our price action give us confluence, right, that could make for a very nice move to the upside, which could also give us a very good risk to reward ratio, right? One of the most important things about trading also is entering into setups that have a very high possibility of reward and very low risk. If we know that this is a key low and we're finding support here, then we can hypothesize and say, you know what, if this is truly the bottom, and if I'm entering into a long trade somewhere in here, let's say, or a retest, then I know that I'm only risking this much to potentially gain this much, right? So that it's a good risk to reward setup. What we don't want to do is take a long up here, okay, where we are potentially risking this much, right, to maybe gain who knows how much more. We don't know where the top is, right? But if we've put in multiple highs and we know we're at resistance, this is not where we want to be longing, because if we take too many trades like this, well, that's a one-way ticket to Wreck City, okay? That's not very healthy, guys. I'll tell you, okay? It's not very healthy. It's a little bit surprising when people take trades like that, okay? It's not very smart, I'll tell you that. But it's like trading and driving, guys. You don't want to trade and drive. You will absolutely get wrecked. Doesn't matter if price is bouncing from the golden pocket, okay? Because trust me, you will wreck your car, guys. Do you know how much this car costs? Do you know how many trades I would have to win to buy this Jeep Grand Cherokee L? Now, by the way, I'm very blessed to have this, okay? I got a good price on this thing, okay? I got a good price on it. But I'll tell you something, guys. Cars are getting expensive these days. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to wreck a car because you were trading and driving. And you could kill your family too. Well, not a big deal, but your car. We don't want to wreck our car now, do we? No, we don't. And so this is the context of the market that we find ourselves in, guys. And so here's kind of what I'm looking at, like on a long term, right? Yeah, I've been scalping all morning, took a loss, took some wins, but I'm really just scalping, right? I'm not really looking to hold a trade super long term right now, except for if I get a really good entry for a long. And here's what I would love to see, okay? Here's what I would love to see for a long. For a swing long, I'm talking. I would love to come back down a little bit lower and take out these lows that we put in, okay? Potentially even all the way down to here, but why? Why do I want to take out these lows? Well, here's the reason, guys. This low that we put in happened, it happened yesterday. Happened yesterday at 16 o'clock. So it happened over a weekend. It happened when the markets were closed. And typically when that does happen, it tends not to be the bottom. Like another example would be these lows right here. These lows were lows that we put in over a weekend, and when we came back down to them, we just like really fell right through. And so another reason why I would like to come down below these lows is because there's so much liquidity down here from these wicks and even this wick that I'm sure there's a whole bunch of whales out there that are just drooling at the mouth to grab that liquidity to fill a nice long position. I just do feel in my bones, which is not the proper way to trade, don't get me wrong, okay? Trading with your bones is not the best way to do it, okay? But I just do feel in my bones that this is not the bottom, right? I feel that this move to the upside that we're getting right now is meant to potentially trap a whole bunch of people longing too early, so that what can happen is we can get another move to the downside and then get a real long from somewhere in this area and come back up to the high of the range. This is the idea that I am most interested in possibly trading. So to the downside right now, we do have some pretty important areas to be aware of where we could potentially be looking for a really nice swing long, okay? And so for me, that's this box right here. So I have a sub box, right? We have our macro box, then we have sub boxes within. Because, you know, the past few times we put in lows, clearly this is support here, okay? Clearly this is support right here. A retest of these lows, even maybe a retest of that 17K area. Why else am I so interested in this area? Okay, I'm just going to tell you guys what is on my mind, all right? This is not financial advice. This is a macro trading idea that I am working with that is subject to change. I'm only going to trade this idea if I get confirmations that this is actually going to happen, right? We're looking at our indicators and stuff like that. We're not just presetting limit orders down there, hoping for the best, going to sleep, going out with our friends, right? Going out for a drink with our friends. Someone slips some something in our drink. The next thing you know, we wake up, we're in California, and we're in this limit long, and price is going down to 10K. Okay, we don't want that. Right? We don't want that. Okay, now, first of all, I don't drink. All right? Second of all, I don't have any friends. All right? So I don't have to worry about that happening. But third of all, there's a good chance. Well, how do I say this without sounding like an idiot? Too late, Jason. You already are an idiot. Okay. There's a good chance that this is a macro bottom. Okay. The reason I say that, guys, is because we have a macro bottom signal on the weekly time frame, and the monthly time frame looks very bullish. Okay. Momentum wave about to clip to the upside on the monthly time frame. We have the VWAP curving to the upside. The weekly time frame is about to give us an anchor and a trigger with money flow coming up. And historically speaking, this has been the bottom signal of the bear market, okay? Now, people are saying, Jason, there's no way this is the bottom. Bitcoin's going to 10K, to 1K, to 0, to negative 1,000, negative 10,000. Very well, it may. It very well may. I don't know the future. But what I do know for certain, guys, is the past, okay? And the past is telling us that every single time we have had every single time on the weekly time frame, this is the wrong chart, right? Let's see, is this the one I want? Every single time, guys, on the weekly time frame, whenever we've gotten that momentum wave, money flow in the red, big Ben Armstrong green dot, that has been the bottom of the bear market. It happened in 2011, 2013. It happened in 2015. It happened in 2018, and now it's happening again. Okay. Technical target of this giant rising wedge. If this is the case, that we are finding a macro bottom, it would behoove us, if we actually want confirmation that this is the bottom, that we get a proper retest of that bottom. Now, people are very, very bearish right now, okay? On the YouTubes, people are bearish, as far as I can tell by the thumbnails and stuff. I don't know, right? Sometimes I get confused looking at my own thumbnails, right? But people are very bearish, and at the top in November, people were super bullish, okay? So sentiment means nothing, guys. What does mean something are these charts, okay? And these charts are giving us bottom signals. Now, it doesn't mean long now. It means be prepared to not have it go to 10K, right? Be prepared for a bullish scenario. Be prepared for a retest of this macro support that our oscillator, Mark Cipher B, is giving us literally a signal that has only happened 4 times in the past, and each time it's marked the bottom of the bear cycle, right? Just be prepared for that. And so when we come down here, what am I looking for? Well, I would be looking for multiple things in order to get into a trade from these areas. Number one, I would want to see some kind of reaction with confirmation. So if on the daily time frame, right? If on the daily time frame, we get a trigger wave here, that would be nice, right? Where we come down a little bit lower and we get some kind of a trigger wave on the daily time frame. Money flows coming up. We would also have a trigger wave on the weekly time frame, right? And then what else I would like to see is on the 12-hour time frame and down would be very, very nice to see bullish divergences. Okay, it would be very, very nice to see bullish divergences. When we get bullish divergences on these 12-hour, these super high time frames, that's really no joke, guys. Look at what happened here when we had the bullish divergence on the 12-minute time frame. Now, right now, technically, we do have a bullish divergence on the 12-minute time frame already with snake eyes. All right, with snake eyes. These are not bearish signs, right? For people who are looking for another massive move down right now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying when we see bullish things on the chart at support, this is not the time to be thinking to yourself, I'm going to be looking for a massive short position to get into, right? This is where you should be planning, thinking, okay, where would be a really nice long? Because the opportunities only come up when everybody else is freaking out. When everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to zero, that's when the good long opportunities come. When everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to 100K, that's when the good short opportunities come. And it's very difficult to see through sentiment, right? I myself thought we were going higher back in November. I was waiting for 70K for a short. I mean, right? So I'm just saying, guys, sentiment, it doesn't necessarily mean everything. Okay? Now, there's a few key areas that we do need to be aware of. Let's say that this actually is a macro bottom and we're not going to come down for these lows and we're simply just going to put in another higher low, right? This could just be another higher low. If we're looking at these lows here, low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And so if that's the case, then what? Well, then we can wait for a retest, okay? We never have to be in a rush to get into a trade because there's always opportunity. The markets will always be here tomorrow, and there's going to be a million places to get into a good trade, okay? So let's say, for example, that this really is the bottom, and we're not going to get a retest, and we're not going to come down, and my plan isn't going to happen, right? Well, then what, right? Or do we just sit on the sidelines? No. Then what we can do, guys, is we can wait for a retest, okay? And what I would like to do is, if this is going to be another big move to the upside, notice what has happened every single other time we've come down and put in a low, right? We put in a low, get a big pump up, and then what? We come back down to put in a higher low. Even here, we put in our low, we get a big pump up, and then we come back down to put in a higher low, right? Even here, we put in our low, we get a big pump, and then we come back down. We can wait for a retest, okay? And the way we're going to determine where that retest will come in is we have to use a few tools here, okay? Now, some of my favorite tools to use are volume and Fibonacci. So right now, we can see that the highest volume node is right here. And last week, we were saying that if we hold this area as support, it's very probable that we make our way up to here, where I will look to take a short. And if we lose this level, it's very probable we will come down to here, where we look to take a long. Well, we came down to here. It happened over the weekend. I didn't get into a trade. That's how it is, right? So if we hold this area as support, right, the opposite works. Then we look for a move back up to here, okay? Now, this is actually a very, very key area. This is not just a high volume node on a chart, but this is actually a very key area of resistance for a number of reasons. Number one, it's the high volume node of this macro range that we've been trading since June 16th or something, right? But number two, we traded here for 2 weeks, literally right on this little chunk of price action right here. And we have built up even more confluence here just because this is the high volume node of this little tiny range, right? And here's some more confluence that we have at that area. If we take a Fibonacci golden pocket retracement, right, from this last high that we put in right up here to the low, we can see that just above that high volume node is the golden pocket retracement, right? And so for me, if we do pump up to here, I know that this is an area that I would actually look now to take a short from, like this, and then maybe the long idea could play out, right? That's how we have to always approach the markets. If we are trying to chase price, we're always going to be losing money, right? If we're always trying to chase price, then we are always going to be losing money, right? That's just the reality of the situation. It's the reality of the situation. What was that? Oh. No, that's all good. But if we have a plan in advance, guys, then we can be ready. We can be ready. So I just got stopped out of my long trade. I just got stopped out. Okay. All right. Okay. I need to do some thinking here. Let's go down to a low time frame. Let's see what's going on here. All right. So we came down to this level. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Ooh. That looks bearish. It looks kind of bearish. This looks a little bit bearish to me because we can see that price is coming down, and we have a lot of longs opening up with an increase in open interest, and the CVD is getting higher. That's called a CVD divergence. So basically what's happening here, guys, is when we see price getting lower over time, and this white line is getting higher over time here, and this open interest is also getting higher over time, this is telling us that there's absorption here, okay? Which means that there's a whale up here who is absorbing retail traders who are FOMOing long, okay? For more information on this, you could check out the advanced course, learn.jasoncaspertrading.com. You could even watch the preview for free here. There's a 15% discount in the description if you use the coupon code JUICY. But it goes over all this stuff. And we can see, guys, look at what has happened here. Because of this, we can see that retail traders were FOMOing long and whales were building short positions. And now that's resulted in a move to the downside right there, right? Very, very interesting how that works. So, hang on. Let me reset this. So just a recap of what's happening like in the moment. Let's talk about what is happening in the moment right now, guys. So, okay, just to recap what is happening in the moment. If you guys remember when I started the stream, right? I was in a short from here. I got stopped out. I added to my long. That long got stopped out in profit. I opened another short at the golden pocket. We got bearish divergences on this 12-minute time frame right here, as I was mentioning in the beginning of the stream, with momentum and money flow getting lower, which to me is a bearish sign, as we have come up to the top of this local range right here. Okay, so actually, let me turn all this stuff off. This is actually the first area of major support. Okay, I'm going to turn all this stuff off, but we're going to go through some TA. We're going to go through some TA live right here to discuss the actual structure of these markets. So what happened is after our big dump, we started to then form a range, with this being the first high and this being the first major low. But now we could say that this is now our major low. So this is the framework now within which we're trading. Okay, this is now the framework within which we are trading. And when we have a clearly defined high and a clearly defined low, then we can use volume like this to determine where are the key levels that we need to look for. So right now, this is actually the first major area of support right here. Now, we came up to the high of the range, and remember the strategy, the box strategy of just, looking for shorts at the highs and looking for longs at the lows. I mean, this is still pretty much in play right now. And so we came up to the high, and we got bearish divergences on the 12-minute time frame. Okay, we got uneven butt cheeks on the 12-minute time frame right here with momentum and money flow coming down. And so that is what triggered into the short position. And right now, if we come lower than this blue line, then the next major area of support that we have is going to be a retest of this high volume node right here, which just so happens to have a really nice confluence with the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement and the VWAP. And so this now is the market structure that we have in which we can look for trades, okay? And for more information on this, check out the course, jasoncaspertrading.com. There's a 25% discount in the description, but this is the blueprint so that you will learn how to read the charts and feel confident in your trades, how to stop FOMO trading, how to stop trading with emotion, how to stop entering long up here because Bitcoin's pumping, right? And how to stop shorting down here because Bitcoin's dumping, but to understand where are the key levels and where we should be looking for trades, and then what should trigger us getting into those trades, how to use good risk management. There's a 25% discount in the description. And so for me right now, yes, this is key support. But if we lose this, my next major area of interest is going to be this area right here, around 20K. The retest of 20K, in my opinion, is either going to be very bullish or very bearish. 20K is a very important level, very important level, psychologically speaking, because 20K, guys, do you remember when Bitcoin hit 20K back in 2017? I know exactly what I was doing. I was in the gym doing tricep pushdowns, cable tricep pushdowns with the rope, and I got the notification that Bitcoin was at 20K, and I went home and I sold some Bitcoin as fast as I could because I'm like, this is impossible that we're this high. This is unsustainable. I wasn't even really a trader back then. Not even close to what I am today, but I knew that was unsustainable, so I sold because I was relying on that Bitcoin investment to buy a property, which I now have. Praise God. Right? And so 20K, that's a very important level, and we have some confluences here. This is the high volume node of the entire range we've been trading since August 26th. That's 3 days. The highest volume node in 3 days. It's a Fibonacci golden pocket, and it's the VWAP. Okay, if we come down to here, I would say that there's a very high probability that I will take a long scalp from here, because just the fact that it's the VWAP alone makes it a very high probability trade setup, right? Now, if we come down to here and we do something like this, we get the bounce and then we come down lower, then honestly, for me, I would be looking down to take out this low here, right? I would be looking down to the levels we were talking about before. My original swing long plan to actually take a long from a little bit lower than where we are right now. Like, I would love to come down to these lows here, okay? But this all depends on what happens at this key level. So let's see what is happening at this key level. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame on Market Cipher B and see what we see. Do we see any bullish divergences on the 1 minute time frame? We do not. Let's check out the S&P 500. What is happening on the S&P 500? Because that is a very important indicator for Bitcoin as well. S&P 500 getting a bounce from the golden pocket, guys. Okay. Actually, just front run a little bit. Nope. Yeah, we hit the golden pocket on the S&P 500. All right. This is actually very bullish for Bitcoin, the fact that the S&P 500 is getting a bounce from the golden pocket. Let's actually take a look here at some other things that we got going on. S&P 500, by the way, guys, filled the gap up here. I didn't notice that, but this is another reason why Bitcoin had such a good short entry. S&P 500 filled the gap up here. And now we're bouncing off that local golden pocket, which honestly, I might even just close the short and call it a day. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, the S&P 500, guys, is crazy. Like, the past few weeks, you can trade Bitcoin just looking at the S&P 500 chart. Like this morning, as soon as we started to pump up toward that gap, Bitcoin started to pump. As soon as we got this first rejection, which, by the way, that first rejection, guys, was a rejection from the Fibonacci golden pocket. Isn't that crazy? Bitcoin dumped right there as well. Whew. Now, honestly, for me, guys, the short that I took on Bitcoin was when the S&P 500 did this, and I got stopped out of that short in a loss, as I mentioned. But then this happened, and then when the S&P 500 starts to come up, Bitcoin also starts to come up. And then when we fill the gap right here, Bitcoin also gets the 12-minute butt cheeks at the top of the range. Now, something else, I think this is super interesting, okay? So when S&P 500 hit this golden pocket, right, Bitcoin did something crazy as well. Let's see if I can find where it happened. Yeah, right here. So this is where S&P 500 hit the golden pocket. Now, right here, as soon as the S&P 500 hit into that resistance, all of a sudden, this right here, these are a whole bunch of people just FOMOing long out of nowhere, just longing the top out of nowhere. This entire move up happened like on kind of like a decrease of open interest. Not too many people really longing. A lot of shorts getting closed out, we could see here. But then all of a sudden, as soon as the S&P 500 hits into that resistance, all of a sudden, everyone decides to FOMO long into Bitcoin. And as soon as they FOMO long into Bitcoin, the price immediately drops. These longs are immediately trapped. They don't even close out their positions, guys. Those longs don't even completely close out their positions until, like, price is down here, right? So we have all these trapped longs up here giving us a nice short position to the downside, right? Isn't that crazy how that works? And it's just really interesting how you get these confluences between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin like that. So I am going to take a little bit more profit out here, guys. Just because, you know, I took a $1,000 loss today, guys. That's why. So I am in profit for the day, but not by very much. Right? So I'm not trying to hold my horses too long here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So yes, that's what's happening right now. Bitcoin is getting a bounce from this support here, guys. As the S&P 500 is bouncing from the golden pocket, Bitcoin is bouncing from this support here. Do we see, I mean, we see longs coming in. I don't necessarily see anything too bullish or bearish right now. I would love to come down lower, guys. I'll just be honest with you. I would love to come down lower. I think we can come down lower. I think we can, based on the 24-minute time frame also giving us some bearish divergence, money flow coming down. The 1 hour looking like a red dot's about to print. I feel like we can come down lower. I feel like we can get a retracement down to the VWAP area. That would make a good long entry here, or even potentially coming down lower to take out these lows would be very, very nice as well. We'll have to see what happens. A lot of times with Bitcoin, you know what happens. We come up to this area and we form like a flag or something, and no one knows what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, especially if New York closes like this afternoon, and we just run out of steam up here, and we just start to range up here, and New York closes, and people stop trading, we'll probably, Asia might even pull us down a little bit farther here. Let's check out the 4 hour. The 4 hour looks really bullish, guys. If I was just looking at Market Cipher alone, I would say that we're probably going to get a retracement and then another move to the upside. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. That retracement may or may not be a higher low, right? That retracement could be a lower low. If that retracement is a lower low, that would give us a very, very nice bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame, right? If we do put in a lower low now, right? Oh man, that would be nice. That would be so nice. I would love that. Let's say that we do put in a lower low and we come down to, these lows, let's say. All right, let's say that we do that. Can you imagine the bullish div that this would give for us? I mean, it would be it would be on par with this bullish div here. It would be on par with, when was the last time we had a bullish div like that? It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. Oh, wait, this is the 4 hour. Yeah, it would be like on par with this bullish div that we had last week. It would be on par with this bullish div that we had on July 26th for that big move to the upside. You know, this is kind of, this exact thing is what I'm actually hoping for right now, guys. Like, we've come in, we've put in our bottom, we get that big spike to the upside, but then we come back down, stop everyone out, and then get the real move. That's kind of what I want to happen. You know, I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's what I want to happen. Something like this as well. We come down, we do this little rangy thing, we get the move to the upside, and just kidding, you know. Now, I know that this was inflation news. I remember trading that. I shorted this and long. It was awesome. It was amazing. Some of the best trades I've taken pretty much all summer. This has been a good range, honestly. This has been a good range. Last week was awful for trading, but in general, the summer has been really nice for trading. Bitcoin, at least. 2 hour looks like we could top out soon for that retracement. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens, guys. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Dang it. Would you look at that, guys? The second time in a row my entry's at the golden pocket. Right? First time my entry was at the golden pocket. And by the way I got into the trade the first time was simply looking at absorption of longs coming in here with the 12-minute butt cheeks, right, on this little retracement here. And now my entry's also right on the golden pocket, but you know, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is, right? We're not here to catch every move. We're here to extract money from the markets, and it doesn't matter. It does not matter how we do it, right? On Friday, we had a massive dump. I made most of my money longing on Friday. It is what it is, right? It doesn't matter. As long as we're extracting money from the markets, because I've gone down that path. It's like an ego trip of long the bottom, short the top, and you feel like you have to do that in order to be good. No, that doesn't matter at all, right? All that matters is that you have money so your wife can waste it all on the stupid crap that she puts all around the house, those fake trees and all that white woman stuff. You know how those white chicks do it. You know, shout out to BigBus28, my wife. And, oops, did I just say that? I don't know. Am I allowed to say that? Hope you're not listening, BigBus28. I love you, though. I love you, BigBus28. And that being said, guys, you know, shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. Shout out to Robert Bonar. Shout out to Memory Man. Shout out to David. Shout out to Tadas. Shout out to JSEC. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Dennis. Shout out to Dr. Blocks. Got all these bear divs everywhere. Yeah, I hope we come down more, Dr. Blocks. I hope we do, man. I hope we do. That'd be nice. Guys, shout out to Aaron G, by the way. Shout out to Aaron G. He says candy from a baby at this point. Guys, make sure to like the video. We got 600 people in here, only 200 likes. You know, unfortunately, guys, I do have to head out. I have some really important stuff to do at 1:30, and it's 1:30, man. So I have to go. But I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. If you did, make sure to like the stream, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and all that stuff. And God bless everybody in the name of Jesus the Messiah. I pray everyone's super blessed. And, guys, receive this blessing in the Hebrew language before I head out. Receive the blessing, guys. And the purpose of this blessing is that the God, the creator God of the heavens and the earth, would place his name upon you and bless you. And it goes like this in Hebrew. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha ya'er Adonai panav alecha v'chunecha Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach Elohei Israel. And in English that means may the Lord bless and protect you. May he shine his light upon you. May he have grace upon you. And may the Lord turn his face towards you, give you wholeness and peace. In the name of Jesus the Messiah, the God of Israel. Amen. I pray everybody is super blessed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see everybody in the next stream. Peace, y'all.